My best friend moved in rent-free, and I got him a job at my company. He sabotaged my work for months to steal my promotion and frame me for deleting a client database. He didn't know. I recorded him confessing everything, including his plan to ruin my life. I waited until the HR meeting and played the tape, getting him fired, arrested for fraud, and blacklisted from the industry. Hello, Reddit. Liam 30, male here with a story that still feels surreal. My best friend of 15 years, let's call him Mark, also 30, male, tried to destroy my entire life from inside my own home. He almost succeeded, but he made one critical mistake. He underestimated me. He thought I was just the nice guy, the pushover. He forgot I was also meticulous, patient, and very, very good with tech. Mark and I grew up on the same street. We did everything together. Little league, first crushes, skipping school, college applications. He was always the charismatic one, the guy who could talk his way into anything. I was the quiet, nerdy one who actually did the work. After college, I landed a great job as a data analyst at Omnicorp, a major tech firm. I climbed the ladder steadily. Mark, however, floundered. He had dreams of being a manager, but never put in the effort. He jumped from sales job to sales job, always blaming the company, the boss, the economy. 6 months ago, he hit rock bottom. He called me, voice cracking, saying he was getting evicted and had nowhere to go. My heart went out to him. He was my brother, practically. Dude, come stay with me, I offered without hesitation. I had a 2-bedroom apartment, plenty of space. Just until you get back on your feet. 2 months, maybe? He moved in the next day, full of promises about how he'd pay me back, how this was just temporary. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. A week later, pure coincidence, a junior analyst position opened up on my team at Omnicorp. It wasn't glamorous, mostly data entry and running basic reports, but it was a foot in the door. Mark begged me to help him get it. I just need a chance, Liam. I'll work so hard. Against my better judgment, I vouched for him. I prepped him for the interview, highlighted his few relevant skills. He got the job. He was ecstatic. I owe you everything, man, he declared, promising to be the best employee ever. For the first month, he actually seemed to try. He was punctual, asked questions, seemed eager. I started to relax, thinking maybe this was the break he needed. Then, about 3 months ago, came the big news. I was promoted to team lead. It was a huge step up, more responsibility, a significant raise, and the perk of working from home 3 days a week. It also meant my old senior analyst position was opening up. Mark immediately started talking about how he deserved it, how he was a natural leader. I told him he needed more experience, that he should focus on mastering the junior role first. He smiled, but his eyes went cold for a second. Yeah, you're right, boss, he said, with just a hint of sarcasm. That's when the glitches started. First, a critical client presentation I prepared suddenly had corrupted slides, minutes before the meeting. I had backups, but it made me look disorganized. I apologized, blaming a technical issue. Mark was right there. Don't worry, Liam, I told them you were having computer problems. So helpful. A week later, an email I sent to our biggest client, confirming deployment dates, vanished from the sent folder. The client called my boss, furious about the lack of communication. I looked like an idiot. Again, I apologized, resent the email, and started triple-checking everything. Mark's support became suffocating. He'd constantly offer to help me manage my workload, asking for access to my project files just in case. He'd linger near my desk when I was working from home, asking questions about client passwords or server access protocols, framing it as wanting to learn. Then came the performance reviews. My boss, Sarah, called me in. Liam, your work has been stellar for years, but lately, there have been errors, missed deadlines, client complaints. What's going on? I tried to explain the glitches, but it sounded weak, even to me. She mentioned that Mark had been really stepping up, covering my mistakes. She put me on a performance improvement plan PIP. It was humiliating. I was the newly promoted team lead, and I was already on thin ice. Sarah said if things didn't improve drastically in the next 30 days, they'd have to re-evaluate my position. I knew what that meant. Mark was infuriatingly sympathetic. Oh man, a PIP? That sucks. Don't worry, I'm covering for you. We'll get through this. He even brought me coffee the next morning. Just trying to help you stay focused, buddy. I wanted to punch him. That weekend, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was deeply wrong. These weren't random errors. It felt targeted. But Mark, my best friend, sabotaging me? It seemed insane. I needed proof. I remembered the old tablet I'd given Mark. He used it mostly for streaming, but it was still logged into my Google account, my cloud storage, maybe even my work stuff. I waited until he went out Saturday night networking, he called it. I went into his room. The tablet was under his pillow. My hands were shaking as I turned it on. I checked the browser history, filled with searches like how to corrupt PowerPoint file, delete sent emails, Outlook undetected, common data entry errors unnoticed. My stomach plummeted. Then I checked the cloud drive sync logs. Files from my work projects had been accessed and modified from this tablet. At times I knew I wasn't using it. Small changes, a decimal point moved here, date shifted there just enough to cause errors downstream. He was doing it right under my roof, probably while I was asleep or making dinner. Using the access I freely gave him, the betrayal was staggering. It wasn't just about the job. It felt like he was trying to erase me. I didn't delete anything. I took screenshots. I documented everything: the search history, the file modification logs, the IP address proving it was from inside my apartment. Then I put the tablet back exactly where I found it. My mind was racing. Confront him? Go to HR? No, he'd just deny it, twist it. He was too good at that. I needed undeniable proof. Something he couldn't talk his way out of. Something recorded. The PIP meeting was my 30-day deadline. I had less than 4 weeks. I formulated a plan. A cold, calculated plan. Step 1. Secure my main work computer. I changed all my passwords, enabled 2-factor authentication tied only to my phone, and installed robust monitoring software. Keyloggers, screen recorders. The works all running completely hidden. Step 2. Play the part. I had to seem like I was crumbling under the pressure of the PIP. I started forgetting things. I accidentally CC'd Mark on sensitive emails I shouldn't have. I complained constantly about the stress, about how I might not make it. Mark ate it up. His concern grew. Liam, you need to delegate more. Let me handle the quarterly report draft. You focus on not getting fired. He was practically salivating at the thought of taking over. Step 3. The bait. We had a massive project deadline coming up. Project Chimera. It involved migrating terabytes of sensitive client data. It was my responsibility, the project that could save or sink me under the PIP. I knew Mark wanted in on it. I confided in him. Mark, I'm drowning with Chimera. Sarah is breathing down my neck. If I mess this up, I'm gone. I need your help. Can you handle the initial data validation script? I trust you more than anyone. His eyes lit up. Of course, man. Anything for you. I gave him limited, sandboxed access to a copy of the data, telling him it was the live environment. I made sure my screen recorder was running non-stop. For 2 days, nothing happened. He ran the validation script perfectly. I started to wonder if I was wrong, if I was just paranoid. Then, Thursday night, around AM, my monitoring software pinged my phone. Unusual activity detected on my work machine. I remotely logged in, invisible. My screen recorder was capturing everything. Mark was sitting at my desk, in my chair, logged in as me. He must have shoulder surfed my new password or used a keylogger he installed himself. The audacity. He wasn't running validation scripts. He had opened the actual Project Chimera master file, and he was typing delete from client database master where migration status equals pending. My heart stopped. He was executing a command to wipe out all the client data that hadn't been migrated yet. Millions of records. Irrecoverable damage. But he hesitated. His cursor hovered over the execute button. Then, he typed something else. He opened a chat window. Not company chat, his personal Discord. He messaged someone I didn't recognize. Almost did it. Decided to wait. Wiping it now is too obvious. Better to let him launch the migration tomorrow, than discover the data corruption later. Blame it on his script. He closed the query window without executing. Then, he navigated to my completed validation script, the correct one I had secretly finished myself. He opened it, added a single line of malicious code hidden within a comment block code designed to fail subtly after the migration started, saved it, and logged out. He thought he was being clever. He thought he was setting me up for a delayed, deniable failure. He had no idea I had just recorded him admitting his intent and planting the evidence. I saved the recording. Multiple backups, cloud storage, encrypted drive. This was the smoking gun. The next morning, Mark was disgustingly cheerful. Hey man, finished that validation script for you. Looks solid. Ready for the big migration today? I played along, acting relieved. Oh, thank God, Mark. You saved me. Let's do this. We initiated the migration, and just as Mark planned, it started failing an hour later. Corrupted data flags everywhere. My boss, Sarah, was instantly on video call, her face grim. Liam, what happened? Mark, standing behind me in my home office, feigned shock. Oh no, Liam, did you double-check the script? I looked at Sarah. Sarah, there's something you need to see. Can you loop in HR immediately and ask Mark to remain present? Mark looked confused, then suspicious. Sarah, sensing the gravity, agreed. The HR director joined the call. Okay, Liam, what's going on? Sarah asked. I took a deep breath. For the past few months, my work has been systematically sabotaged. Deadlines missed, files corrupted, culminating in this migration failure. I believe I know who is responsible, and I have proof. Mark started sputtering. What? Sabotaged? Liam, you're just stressed. I ignored him. Sarah, HR, I have a screen recording from last night. It shows Mark logging into my machine, attempting to delete the client database, then deciding against it and instead planting malicious code in the migration script to frame me for this failure. Mark went white. That's a lie. He's trying to blame me. I shared my screen. This recording also includes Mark discussing his plan on Discord, admitting his intent to get me fired and take my job. I hit play. We all watched in silence. The video showed everything. Mark at my computer, the skull delete command, the hesitation, the Discord messages admitting his plan, the planting of the bad code, his voice, captured by my webcam mic, muttering, "Idiot. He'll never see it coming." When the video ended, nobody spoke. Sarah looked horrified. The HR director looked furious. Mark was shaking, unable to form words. That's not. The HR director cut him off. "Mark, your employment with Omnicorp is terminated, effective immediately, for cause gross misconduct, attempted destruction of company property, and conspiracy to defraud." She continued, her voice like steel. "Security is disabling your access now. Furthermore, based on the evidence of attempted database deletion and admission of intent, we are filing a police report for violations of the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. You can expect to hear from our legal department regarding civil damages as well." Mark just stared, dumbfounded. "Police? Legal? No, Liam. Tell them. It was a mistake. A joke." I looked at him for the first time since the video started. My voice was quiet, cold. "Was it a joke when you searched how to corrupt PowerPoint file undetected? Was it a joke when you changed my client report data? Was it a joke when you deleted my sent emails?" His face crumpled. He knew. I knew everything. Sarah spoke then. "Mark, you need to leave the premises immediate." Mark stood up, knocking his chair over. He looked at me, his eyes filled with the mixture of hatred and disbelief. You set me up." "No, Mark," I said calmly. "You set yourself up. I just recorded it." He didn't say another word. He just walked out of my home office, out of my apartment, and out of my life. The HR director turned back to me. "Liam, I'm profoundly sorry this happened. Your PIP is obviously rescinded. We owe you a significant apology, and perhaps a discussion about hazard pay." The aftermath was swift and brutal for Mark. The police did investigate. Combined with the company's evidence, he was charged with felony computer fraud. Facing jail time, he took a plea deal, massive fines, restitution to Omnicorp, 5 years probation, and a felony record. Omnicorp's legal team also filed a civil suit for damages related to Project Chimera's delay and the internal investigation costs. The judgment was substantial more money than Mark would likely ever see. His wages would be garnished for decades, assuming he could even find a job. Because the news spread like wildfire in our industry, Omnicorp didn't explicitly name him publicly, but the details were specific enough. He was blacklisted. No tech company would touch him. His natural leader ambitions evaporated overnight. He tried contacting me, of course. Voicemails filled with rage, then pleading, then pathetic apologies. I never listened. I just saved them, along with everything else, in a folder labeled evidence. I changed my number shortly after. His parents called me too, blaming me for ruining his life. Apparently, I was supposed to just let him destroy my career and say nothing. I told them exactly what he did, backed up by the recording. They went quiet after that. I haven't heard from them since. I stayed at Omnicorp. They gave me a substantial raise and an even bigger bonus. Sarah became not just my boss, but a mentor and friend. The trust I earned by handling the situation discreetly and effectively solidified my position. The spare bedroom in my apartment is now my home gym. It feels cleaner somehow. Every now and then, I think about Mark, not with anger anymore, but with a strange sort of pity. He had talent, charisma. He could have built his own success, but his jealousy, his entitlement, it consumed him. He saw my success not as inspiration, but as an insult. He thought taking me down was the only way he could rise up. He fundamentally misunderstood how the world works. I learned a hard lesson about trust that year. Sometimes the people closest to you are the ones holding the sharpest knives. But I also learned about my own strength. I didn't just survive. I turned his attack into my biggest career victory. The screen recording software? Still running, just in case. You never know when you might need proof that the call is coming from inside the house. Oh, and that old tablet? Wiped clean and donated. Some things just aren't worth keeping around. Life is quiet now, and much, much better. I'm focusing on my work, rebuilding my savings, which Omnicorp helped replenish with the bonus, and learning to trust again, slowly. The insane fall-off wasn't just Mark losing his job. It was the complete implosion of his future, engineered entirely by his own actions, captured frame by frame. He tried to play chess, but he didn't realize. I saw the whole board, and I wasn't playing checkers. I was playing for keeps. And that, Reddit, is how my best friend went from living rent-free in my apartment to facing financial ruin and a felony conviction, all because he got greedy and forgot who he was dealing with. Karma, logged.